my channel. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me. My name is Special Maduma, your favorite modest stylist. If this is your very first time hanging out with me, well, I'm hoping that by the end of this video you would have found a reason to stay and join this family officially by hitting that subscribe button, and of course do not forget the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a video. To you, my returning subscriber, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the loyalty. Really appreciate you sticking around. Without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Story time. Being a teacher at 19. Here we go. Definitely going to cut the story short, otherwise we will be here for hours. 2013, I matriculated and I was 17 at the time. Went to varsity through a student loan in 2014. My father couldn't afford to take a student loan by himself, so he asked my aunt and uncle to help out. Unfortunately, as I was doing my academic year in psychology in 2014, I got sick, I got robbed, and it really just messed me up emotionally, mentally, and of course me being sick physically, and I could not complete my academic year. Therefore, I went back home as I was staying with my aunt and uncle because it was closer to school. When I went back home, guys, I really felt like I was my mom and dad's housemaid. Not in a bad way, like I felt like I was a housewife, but to my mom and dad. In the sense that all I was doing was waking up in the morning, cleaning the house, washing dishes, doing laundry, doing all those chores, right? And I just didn't have a life beyond that. Like my work was just those chores, nothing beyond that. When my mom and dad returned from work, I needed to make sure that supper is ready. When they're done eating, then I have to wash dishes and everything, you know. So it's not that I didn't want to do the chores, I enjoyed them, but I just wanted to do more than that. So I started considering getting into business. I've always been an entrepreneur of some sort, I think, at heart. You know, I just always liked the idea of being independent, taking care of myself and whatnot. So I started up drawing business plans, and some, yeah, they were really just not making any sense. And one of them made a lot of sense because I just always liked sharing information, so it made sense for me to have a tutoring company. So I then approached the schools around and told them about the services that I'm willing to offer. Unfortunately, none of the schools that I went to accepted me, and it was back to square one. I was just so sad. I think it was late November. I was like, okay, I'm out of options. What do I do now? But I didn't give up, you know. I still went to the schools after doing surveys and proving to them that, you know what, you need my services. And I was just trying to get into their heads. But still, nothing. However, towards late November, if not beginning of December, one of the schools that I had went to was still starting up. So it was going to start running in the following year, 2015. They contacted me and asked me if I am willing to be part of the marketing team, you know. And I was like, marketing, that sounds so fancy. Of course, definitely. No, they didn't need any qualifications whatsoever, so I was definitely up for it. I went to the school, and only to find out that the actual marketing was me roaming around the streets of Joburg handing out flyers. I was like, me, robots, papers, handing out, standing. Awa, is this what my life has come to? I say that. Probably I said it in a more sad way, but yeah, I said that. And after a few days of being hesitant, I just swallowed my pride and I said, you know what, Tube, you want to go back to school, you want to take care of yourself, and you are not going to do that if you're not willing to start from the bottom. So I went, accepted the proposal, and I worked in that month and also just a bit of January. of course, the money was very pretty legal. I think I got round about 200, if not 250 per week. The guy would collect me from home in the morning and drop me off, and I would be roaming around the streets of Rodiport, Krugersdorp, Soweto, whichever are the closest areas that it would seem reasonable for learners to travel to go to the school. So yeah, I did that for a while, and after some time they needed a teacher at the school, and they couldn't really afford, a qualified, experienced one with the amount that they were willing to pay. And they approached me, and I'm like, sure, why not? Because I had been talking to them, telling them that I want to go back to school, and I think they saw my passion in considering what I really came to them for in the very first place, the tutoring company. So I then started teaching at that age, at 19, with no qualifications whatsoever, and it was very, very hard. But before that, the tricky part was the amount. The amount was very small. I couldn't do much with it. So round about May, June, I then asked if they could give me advance because I would like to go back to school. Could they give me an advance and pay for my fees, and I would work for the rest of the year without getting paid? And yeah, they did that, fortunately, and I managed to register with UNISA, and I officially started studying towards my bachelor's degree in education, which I completed in 2020 October, right? So how was it teaching at 19? It was tricky. It was tricky teaching at 19 for two reasons. One, of course, I had no experience whatsoever, so I was full of nerves on the first day and whatnot. The learners could see that I was young and so close to their age. Some of them were very much convinced I was their age. So it was very easy for them to disrespect me. And I remember the first few days I was crying. I went home and I was crying to my mom and dad. I'm like, you don't want to be a teacher. I don't, this hurts, because there's nothing more painful than somebody disrespecting you and not feeling any sort of remorse or regret, or shame in what they are doing. And my learners really didn't care. I remember this one child was like, ma'am, I'm talking about you, not you. And she continued with whatever it is that she was doing. I was like, oh, yeah, it was really a test of faith in so many ways. However, I think because I grew up in a strict, firm family, those qualities were naturally passed on to me. So it was very easy for me later to pick that up and say, you know what, let me apply it, because I can't be nice. I have to have boundaries. I have to set rules. Otherwise, I will always have a chaotic classroom. I will not do anything. I won't have a productive lesson. And fortunately, that worked. Of course, prayer helped, because I really cried a lot. I'm being honest, I cried a lot to God. I'm like, God, how are you expecting me to discipline these kids? They were wild. Okay, they were wild. But I loved them. I grew to love them so much. We had beautiful moments, and as I was leaving the school in 2017, I got so many letters and a little bit of a farewell ndondoni. So it was beautiful. It really was. Then the second thing that was hard would be the fact that because I was not qualified, I couldn't get all the glory for the work that I was doing. So as much as I was doing these grand things, teaching well, bringing in good results, and just me being a creative, I would do a lot of things that will be recognized by facilitators as they come through. I couldn't bring the glory to myself, because that means now they know me, and once they know me, they can look into me, and yeah. So I had to kind of like stay behind the scenes most of the times, and that really made me not to feel good, as I felt like my light was not really shining. And I think I've always been the person who likes to be in front, so not being able to do that, it really crushed me. But again, I stayed strong. I continued with my studies. It was pretty tricky for me to do so with the salary that I was earning, but I had help from time to time. I remember I had this amazing boyfriend, guys, in 2015. Big ups to you. Um, he was so supportive, and he helped me. He took an extra job, tutoring. He was a student at UCT, and he started tutoring learners, or fellow students rather, to raise money in order to assist me with my tuition. So that was really helpful, and God came through for me in so many miraculous ways. I remember there was a time where I couldn't get fees money, and I was not working at that time. It was now 2017. I had left the job because it was now hindering my Sabbath principles. The school required me to come into um, meetings and everything like that. But God still catered and provided for me, in the most miraculous ways ever. Like I was saying, there was this moment where I was struggling, and I told all my friends about it. And there was this one guy friend. I know it sounds weird because he was a guy, but he was genuinely a friend. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna try. And he tried everything that he could in order for him to get the money, and he couldn't. And we prayed about it. Guys, I promise you, literally an hour before midnight, which was the closing date for payment, he sent through the money. Like, he borrowed from his friend in order to help another friend. And he didn't even ask for the money back, but told me, big ups to you. Hi, friend. Really appreciate it. Hi, Olivia. Yeah, thank you so much for your help. You really assisted me. I really appreciate it. So basically, that's how I made it. Being a teacher at 19, it was hard, but I made it, and I finally completed my studies. And there goes my lighting. I'm hoping you guys can still see me though. Yeah, it's getting a bit chilly now, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I really shared the story out of hope, that I would encourage someone that is going through a rough time, that says, wow, this is the bottom of the bottom. It might be worse than mine, but what I know is that there is nothing beyond God. God is able to move you, to lift you up, to elevate you, and put you in places that you never thought you were able to. Um, you just need to be patient. You really just need to be patient and be willing to start from the bottom. We have a problem with starting from the bottom. We care more about how people look at us, what people think of us. What are they going to say if they see me doing this job? Oh, what are they going to say if they see me cleaning this person's house? But if that's what you can do at that time, in order for you to put food on the table, in order for you to cater for your needs, in order for you to pay for what you need to pay for, do it. Because at the end of the day, people can only talk about whatever it is that you're doing, but very few of them can actually help you to get to where you would like to be. So let that never ever stop you. Appreciate the process, and if only you appreciate the process, really, you will understand the lessons that God wants to teach you. Because if there's anything that I've learned, if God sees that you are not yet mature to receive a certain blessing, He will definitely withhold it from you, because He knows that blessing will turn out to be a curse in your life because you do not know how to handle it. So in due season, truly, God gives good gifts. His plans are never to harm, but to prosper us and to give us a future and hope. So trust that. Trust that He wants all the very best for you. Yeah, guys, that is it from me. I'm hoping that you are encouraged in knowing that it may take time, but it will definitely happen. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't already, subscribe. Show me some love by sharing. And do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Have a good one.